just like that, it was 10 o'clock. I was busy ironing. I promise. How are you? Happy Monday. It's Natasha Makes. I'm Natasha. Hello, good morning, welcome. What a busy old weekend. Whew, wow. I hope that you've had a good one. It's raining here. It's pretty horrible. Josh has just texted me. He's gone, you're live. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah, so I had one of those situations where I went down with the kids' colds, didn't I? Fun times. Love all of that. Bless them. So actually, this project, which is what we're going to make today, was the perfect project to just sit and cut stuff out and just chill. And that was it, really. The inspiration, fine, I'm just trying to find us. Where are we? You know me and Facebook, since it changed, can't find a blinking thing. Where is it? So, here we are. Live. Good morning. The inspiration behind it was the Creative Grids wavy ruler, would you believe? And in Kaif's book, the new one, Kaif in the Studio, which I've left in the sitting room because the cat was asleep on it. In there, a few pages in, if you've got it, you'll see it. There's a picture of Kaif went through a blue and white phase with his china and his vases and everything else. So thank you, my love. So when I saw the blue and white shark's teeth, is it shark's teeth or shark's tooth? Teeth, yeah, that makes sense because there is more than one. I think I've been calling it shark's tooth. So when I saw the blue and white shark's teeth, I was like, yes. Let's hark back to Kaif's love of blue and white. Let's bring in a whole load of florals. So I've put in a mixture of Philip Jacobs, Kaif's, and then of course there's Brandon's shark's teeth. So it's a proper Kaif Facet collective. And of course the background is the unsung heroes, which are the spots. I love the spots, absolutely love it. Hang on, let me just pop that down so you can see it without that in it. So I absolutely adore the spots. The blue is one of my I love blue. So, and then I wanted to echo the shape of the vase with using the Creative Grids wavy ruler. So you don't have to use the Creative Grids wavy ruler, you can just do a square border if you want to do it, then that's absolutely fine. But I really did want to just emulate that flow going through there as well. So it was just something a little bit different with the flowers overflowing into that border. So that was kind of my brief. That was what I set myself. And then it was sort of a matter of fingers crossed, let's hope it works. But I absolutely love it, and I've snuck in a cheeky Lisa Chandler butterfly just up the top there. So let's see who's with us this morning, shall we? Let's have a little... Gosh, loads of you. Janice and Carol, good morning, and Sean and Helen, hello. Do you know what, Helen? I was just thinking the other day, I hadn't heard from you in a little while. Is Steve stitching or not? He's not out with his boats, it's raining, is it? I don't know. The joy of the lem sip and the flow test. That's what we love. Steph, good morning. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Rona. Hello. Good morning, Kirsty. And the Makes team. Good morning, Natasha and the Makes team. I've come down with a cold this morning. Feel properly rough. I feel you. Luckily, my coffee subscription arrived. So I was like, right, bulletproof coffee. Off you go, motivational mug that I can't show on TV because it's got a swear word, and off we go. And the rest, as they say, is history. Morning, Margaret. Good morning. Oh, and the Makes mob. Oh, nice. Oh, they'll be pleased to be a mob, I'm sure. Margaret's Makes mobs. Morning, Claire. I'm still buzzing about the dress compliment. Do you know what? That is the nicest thing, isn't it? It is the nicest thing, is when someone says to you, oh, I love your dress, where did you get it? And you say, well, I made it. It is just the nicest thing. And Sue, good morning, and Maddie, hello, and Leanne, good morning. She says, hope you feel a bit better now. Just a bit meh. The Joy of children. They're just little petri dishes. Morning, Joe. Oh, Joe, congratulations. Nana at last. Are you off to, oh, you're off to meet her, Tilly May. So excited for you. How utterly beautiful. So all I'm going to say, Joe, is you need to watch tomorrow, because I've got some beautiful Lewis and Irene's going in fabrics that are beautiful for baby stuff going into a sale tomorrow. You need to see that tomorrow. So congratulations. Then, good morning. We'll be watching on catch up, but just wanted to say hello. Oh, well, thank you. And she said, and thanks for all the hard work. Do you know what? When you love it, it's not hard work, is it? I mean, there are days, don't get me wrong, but generally it's all good. Morning, Alison. Morning, Daryl. Morning, Penny. Working on Natasha's bathroom set's going well. Oh, good. We love a bit of bamboo. Elizabeth's just watching puppies again. That's okay. How are you feeling? How was the op? I hope that you are not overdoing it, madam, in the excitement of being able to stand up. Morning, Grace. Morning, Carol. Morning, Ross. Oh, I sound like my mother. Don't overdo it. She's my mum is the most wonderful person you will ever meet, but dreadful when I'm ill, because, you know, as a mum or whatever, you just get on, don't you? You crack on and you just get stuff done. And then my mum will rock up and just go, oh, you don't look very well. And then I'm just like, oh no, I don't. And that's it. It's just like a downhill spiral, because someone's actually noticed and given me some sympathy. It's the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing anyone can ever do. Otherwise, I just crack on. But that's what mums are there for, isn't it? Oh, thank you, Naomi. She said that really is a stunning design. I am proud of it. Yeah, occasionally in my life, I do things that I really think, I love that. And I love that one. So thank you. Myra says I sound rough. I was thinking more, you know, second income on a certain phone line. No, okay, maybe not. Morning, Rebecca. Got my missing scrap bag over the weekend. Oh, good. Excellent. Linda, good morning. Natasha and team, good morning, says Anne. Love the wall hanging. Lovely use of K fabrics. Good morning, back from the lakes, feeling revived. Oh, Jacqueline, the photos look lovely. And you posted that picture of you at Beatrix Potter's house, and that was it. I had not remembered that scene. I went there when I was 3 years old on my way to be a bridesmaid for my auntie and uncle's wedding, and that was exactly where we went. And yeah, and there was a lake nearby, and I filled my wellies because I thought I could go out as far as my brother, who was 3 years older than me and had bigger wellies, and I couldn't. I had to have a piggyback all the way home. Oh, how we laugh about it now. It's still remembered. So yeah, good morning, everybody. Oh, Jacqueline saw my mug. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, Steve is now into cross stitch. Gosh, he's getting into everything, isn't he? Amazing. Margaret says, wondering about the Makes Posse, but it sounded a bit 80s. Do you know what? Hang on. Was Eshe even born in the 80s? I don't think she was. Don't think so. Oh, thank you, Jess. Good morning, everybody. Right, we need... Laurie, what are you hitting? She hit the wrong button. That's all right. Good morning, everybody. Right. Oh, Sue's striving after a jab feel dreadful. Oh, bless you. Yeah, not a fun time, is it? Okay, so there's a couple of things you need to know. Firstly, we have a few of the mystery Cave Fat Quarter bundles left. They launched over the weekend, for those of you that read your newsletters. That's not a dig, that sounds really like... basically, what happened was, we were talking about this and saying that some people who are new to Cave, they get worried about what goes with what, or sometimes you just want to boost your stash, but actually half metre is too much, or you just want to have a little snippet of stuff and not everywhere sells fat quarters, or sometimes actually it's just nice to have somebody else choose a bundle for you. So I've put together, I think it was heading towards 60 fat quarter bundle. This is a bad admission, isn't it, as to how big my cave department is. 50 bundles of 10 fat quarters. There are a few that have got some American size ones in there, but they tend to be slightly different. Just they might be a little bit more vintage cave, but so it's all like the price is amazing, even if they were all like American fat quarters, and they're not. There'll be a maximum of 2 American fat quarters, and some don't have any American fat quarters in, because every single one of those, I think it was like 58 or 59 that I did in the end, are all different. Every single one of them. There is not a single, there might be repeats of fabric in there for sure, but there are none that are exactly the same. And for those of you buying multiples, I know that Inga will look through when she packs and make sure that you get different sets that are generally completely different. Now in each one, I can promise you that you get designs from all 3 with Cave and Brandon and Philip in there. And for every single one, I wanted, so I've randomly picked 3, don't know what's in here. So let me just show you, when you get them, I want to just talk you through how I've packed them. So I would pull them out, and then let's take a look. So we've got a batik in here, okay. And so that, and then you've got is that a Millifury? No, that's not, that's, oh gosh, I've forgotten what it's called. It always looks like, when I used to do biology, and you used to have to do all the different things. So that one that goes and flows into that. Then you've got your Philip Jacobs, you've got your melons there in this one, which goes beautifully with that spot, because that's got some lovely blues in it. So you can see we're starting to flow in here. So what I wanted was that for each one to have things that went with each other, different colorways, and then I wanted you to have florals, I wanted spots, stripe. I've tried to give you an all-round smorgasbord taster, if you like. So, and like I say, every single one is different. And then this one has got all the colours of the melons in, so I put that one in there. And then here you've got some of the florals, your stripe. You've got a Brandon which picks up the oranges in all of those. That's the octopus. And then you've got some real bright zingers. And actually this one works with that. You've got those colours that will suddenly, you can see, look, suddenly this is pinging. And also that will sit really nicely because you've got different greens in there. But this is, for me, this is a great mixer, but you've also got those colourways that works with there. So as you take it out of your packet, just take a look at how I've put them together, so that you can honestly, I spent hours and hours and hours doing these, because I wanted it to be that when you took it out, you could just look, rather than just all being thumped in together, I wanted you to be able to look at the kind of the colour story that was going on with it, so that you could kind of have an idea of where my head was at, so that you've got new things to try, things to put into your stash if you've already got a stash going on in there. So there you go. And every single one is different, like I say, but when they're gone, they're gone. I'm cutting up another 600 fat quarters. Oh no. I started it on Friday night, and then on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I was like, I've still got shows to prep. I'm not doing anymore. That is it. So here we go. This is another example. I don't know what we've got in here. Okay, so here's your Philip Jacobs straight on there. Now this has got a lot of this here. So we've got the jumble in there. But look, now you see this is perfect, isn't it? We've got one of Cave's florals in there. But just look how that picks out the brown and the purple in there, and we'll work with those. So instantly you've got 3 there that are going to work. Oh, look, you've got another jumble in there. So those 4 together are going to be beautiful. And then this one brings in the blues and all of those. And again, actually lovely. This is lovely. You've got 5 there that work really beautifully together. And then we're going to look at more florals, excuse me, stripes. Oh, another octopus stuck in there. And then your spots that will work and come around full circle there. So that's where that one is going. So you really do have such a variety in there. The stripes are just the best blenders. Excuse me, I've got something caught in the back of my throat. So there we go, you've got that. And let's just have a look at one more, just as an experimental thing, and see what's going on in this one. Okay, so here we've got the wisteria in black. Oh, so you've got another black floral there, and then you've got this brightness to zing it, to then work. We've got another little octopus. Gosh, he's 3 pulled out there. And then you've got a slightly softer spot there, which then goes with, you've got a batik there. So these 3 are going to work beautifully together. And then you've got, oh, look, hang on. Do you know what? Oh, this is, actually, look how beautifully that. It's got all of those tones in there. Oh, I might pop that spot there then. This is quite a hard one to get hold of now. And then, yeah, then you've got, oh, I love that stripe there. And that's going to work beautifully there as well. And with that one. And then you've got more mixes. So there we go. So that one again comes around full circle. So they are all different. You know, like I say, they've all got varieties in them. When they are gone, they are gone. But they do have something from every designer in there. There we go. Okay, let's put those then down to one side. Can I also show you, oh gosh, it's been a bit of a week already. So, you know, Jane does her quilt show on a Wednesday. Can I just show you? I'm so excited for this week. Honestly, it's a crazy, crazy, crazy one. Jane loves a Bargello. We all love a Bargello. And then she went, can I delve into the cave? And I went, yeah, okay. This is coming Wednesday. Isn't she clever? She rocked up with that this morning. I was like, oh, Jane, you've done it again. You clever, clever lady. So, yep. So you might want to get your cave backing fabrics and all that on the go today. Shall we have, let's just check everyone's okay before we crack on. So yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? So there we go. We have got a limited number of kits. Oh, Jane, I'm glad that you like the idea of those. Good. Oh, Julie says, love it. Wasn't sure at first, didn't like the vase, but now it looks brilliant. It is one of those things, and I know a florist was saying, oh, the vase detracts, but actually, I knew that I was going to use the white border, and I think because as well, like knowing Kate and Brandon as I do, I know that Kate has a thing for blue and white china, so I really wanted that nod towards him. And everybody has their own opinions. I love it. It's entirely up to you. You know, take the idea, get the pattern, and use your own if you want. Absolutely no problem with that. This, because I love blues, and this is for me, and this will hang in my home. And even my husband looked at it and went, oh, I like that, which is very unusual. He's not really into fabric. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is grab yourself your ruler. So this is made, if you want to have that emulation, is that a word? If you want to emulate the vase, which is what I did, I used the Creative Grids wavy ruler. Normally, there are lots of demos of how to use this online. I've never seen it used in this particular way. So, and for this effect. So let's try something a little bit different. We will have a digital download of the instructions. I've just on the verge of finishing them now. They'll go across to Josh. But if you want if you want, because they will have the template and everything in half of ours, it's on the fold obviously. The digital will be coming, but you can buy the printed pattern already. And like I say, we are limited on kits. just because of the amount of spot that we had left. That was it. So the first thing that you will do with all of your cutting instructions and everything else is to cut from your blue spot a 12.5 inch strip. Why 12.5? Because this ruler works to 12.5 inches. It's going to give a 12-inch finished size. So and it took me a moment to think about it. I was like, hang on a minute, hang on. I am going to want to get 4 of those. So if I cut a 12.5 inch strip across my width of fabric, then I can get 4, because they're then 10 inches wide. So here we go. Give your fabric a good press before you start, okay? It's going to really help you. And then keep your fabrics kind of either right sides together or wrong sides together, not up the same way, so that when you cut them, you'll have them going in the opposite directions. So we are going to want to have, I've got to try and get this right. We are going to want to have one cut that is going to go this way. So concave, isn't it? And then we will have one that is convex. And on the ruler, you have got, let me just show you this here. You've got these 2 lines here. Cut 1, cut out 1, and cut out 2. Okay, so when I'm going and using this curve here, I'm going to line the edge of my fabric with cut out 1. When I'm using this bit of the ruler here, I'm going to line on that cut out 2 line there. Okay. And that's really important when using this ruler. I cannot stress that enough. So let's go. So which one shall we do first? Here we go. Cut out 1. There we go. And then so that you can already see it's going to be the top part of the vase. And double check yourself, double check yourself the whole time. Yep, I have cut that right. And then we need this bottom part to be bulbous and come out this way. So here's my cut out 2 line there. So it's a new rotary cutter and I'm still trying to work out. You get really adept, don't you, with your normal ruler. And actually I really like it. When I first got it, I was like, oh, that feels really light. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But actually I really like it now because you can just rest it like that. So that's your vase base. Ready to go. All we need to do now is just stitch it together. So flip one on top of the other, and again you can chain piece these, super easy. Clip, pin, do whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do. And off we go. But of course this is a creative grid. We know they know what they're up to. They do. They know. I've said this before. I do genuinely think I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for creative grids. and just how fab their rulers are, because I was just too scared to use other rulers because they used to slip around all over the place, and I either wasted fabric or lived in fear of my fingers. So I have a very special place in my heart for creative grids. Rachel knows that. So there we go. And so then what we're going to do is I'm going to put one like that, so that when I press, one is going to go, the seam is going to press one side and the seam will press the other, and then they will nest beautifully together. That is the general idea. Let me pop you there for a minute. Oh, I tried to be organised, of course. Now I've got everything just in the way. Oh, so I started saying, didn't I? In my, oh my goodness, what is happening this weekend? I've lost my brain. I couldn't find my one of these, so I opened a brand new one, which means that obviously this morning I then found the other one and went, right, I will give that one. It has been opened and used once. I will give that one away for a like and a share on the show. SJ knows all of the conditions and whatnot if you want to look into all of that malarkey. But yeah, I will give one of these rulers away to someone. All you need to do is like and share the show, and off we go. Someone will win one. Hurrah! We do like a little good giveaway. There we go. Now, in the kits, we have done them so that there is slightly more of the spot than you need if you want a fussy cut or anything like that. Because to be honest, if someone's going to look at whether or not your spots align completely, they're not looking at the flowers. Then they've lost the whole point of the situation, right? So I didn't bother. But those of you who aren't working to a deadline and who don't have a stinky cold and feel like rubbish, you might want to. All of these things are possible. Somewhere I've got some pins. Here we go. There we are. Right, lovely. Let me sip out the way. It's all glamour, isn't it? I need another of my little pod things to sit that on. I'll sit it over there. No, it's going to knock that over. There we are. Sit it. Ooh. Okay, and then just stitch down that line. You can press it open if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Hang on, where's my rabbit gone? There we go. Not rabbit, hare, isn't it? There we go. Let's simply not hang about. For we have work to do. Still loving the beast. Still loving the beast. And I have to say, whoops. There we go. We've got a new iron. Very exciting. Jane misheard me. I said, oh, got a new iron. She said, oh, it's a very good one. I went, it costs about 23 quid. As we get through irons, I suddenly realised that my other iron didn't steam. And I wanted to be lead free. And she said, what, 157? I was like, no. Who pays that for an iron? I'm sure someone does. Those ones are pretty expensive, aren't they? Here we go. So that woohoo! Is that done and ready to go? So we can put that to one side. Hurrah! Oh, I should have changed my thread back to white. Never mind, because we're going to now cut the white. So you are going to need, I wonder if, would it be too much to ask that some of these were going to be 12.5? You might get lucky. You might, with your leftover. So the leftover bits, I always try and be frugal and use whatever I can. We can do one bunch. Again, you're cutting these down to 12.5 inches just to suit the ruler. And with white, of course, because it's exactly the same both sides. Pretty much, who actually knows the difference? I don't. Then you're going to be good. So I've given up having just a little. This was my thread catcher, and I love it very, very much. I think we've still actually got some of these. It's made with cartonnage, it's all that kind of thing, but it was always overflowing. You can put your pins and all of that in there. It's very good. However, it was always overflowing. So I've just swapped over to a massive bag because I save all my scraps and then I fill my bolster cushions with them. And I'm on another bolster cushion now. Is what it is, isn't it? Okay, now then, I have got to remember how to do this. So let's, you're going to want to see this, aren't you? Here we go. Okay, so this is about 3.5 inches wide. So that's how wide I've cut my strip, because I'm just gonna cut that strip. What I realise I need now, of course, is my rotating cutting mat. You don't need a rotating cutting mat, but if you have one, unearth it. Got a few flowers on top of it. Unearth it and whip it out, because it is going to make life easier, I promise you. There we go. I realise I tend to cut on the skew-if, which is weird. Don't know why. There we go. Line it all up beautifully. And whoa! La 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 la. I always think they should have snacks or something on. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, that's okay. You've got little doggy ear bits here. It looks like the edge of the ruler's chipped. It's not. Just take your dog ears off. Okay. There we go. So that's the first one. Now, what we will do is, of course, have this so that it's going to emulate that curve of the bottle. So all you need to do is flip that there. Now, you can, well, you can't probably see because it's on white. It doesn't necessarily lie straight or anything like that, but your dog ears, where you've just cut them off, will show you where your 1/4 inch will be. I'm just going to pop a quick pin in that so that I can then take it to the machine. Let me just show you. And of course, you will not be going in blue. You will change your thread. I haven't got time. There we go. So the dog ear there just shows you where that's all going to line up. Now I press this open. There we go. And then you can attach this. So this is probably the only bit that you sit and go, what? What's going on? She wants us to do what? Because that's how it's going to sit. You got to make that fit that. What? What's going on? So it's okay. It's okay. Honestly, it is. But yeah, go from there. So this side has got to fit onto that side. And it's all okay. Because what I'm going to say to you is get your ruler back. Okay, now on the ruler, you've got these markers for your 1/4 inches. You're going to use them now. All right. So don't panic. That's all I'm going to say. Don't panic. I'll go in with a marker so that you can actually see, with a pen so you can actually see. So on here, I'm going to mark. If I can get my pen through. Yeah, there we go. My 1/4 inch there. Flip it. Line it up. Get yourself a chalk pen or something. You know, these are the really useful ones, aren't they? They've got the leads that will go through this. And mark that. It's going to be really hard for you to see. I do realise this, okay? Now, you want to stick your pin through that hole, that mark you've just made there. And that mark you've just made there. Okay? So you know your seams are aligned. All right? And then just give them a little wiggle. Oh, it helps if I actually get it through the hole, doesn't it? Being out by 1/8 inch, not helpful. There we go. So, yeah, actually align them. So then, you see, they will then line, and you can see that this will line on there from that point. So I am going to, keeping those together like that. I'm not going to worry about what's happening beyond that 1/4 inch. I'm just going to stick my pin in there. Okay. And know that that is aligned. And that's all that I need to do. Okay. So just watch again. Align as close as you can, that bit there, and pin it. Clip it, do whatever you need to do. Then you're going to take it to the machine. You can start it from the other end, whatever. And you're going to make sure that whatever fabric is on top always lines up to that 1/4 inch. Okay? I realise my pin's in the wrong way, but we can take that out. That's no problem. So, as we take this to the machine, it just happens that the white is going to be underneath. So they're aligned. Let's start it off. So, and again, if you've starched your fabrics, you'll be all right. Just making sure, because you don't, and again, don't pull anything, just place. Keep making sure that the top fabric, that edge, is always going to align. If I can do this here for you, is always going to align. So you're going to be stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I cannot say this enough. Can you see I'm not pulling anything? Like, there's no pressure or tension. I'm letting the machine do its job. I'm merely making sure, because there's a bit of a curve, of course, you've got your bias in there, but I am just making sure that that is all going to line up. So you can just see that that is starting to come together now. And you'll know that you're on the right track when those seams meet and you know that you haven't pulled one or the other. If you want to use your walking foot, use your walking foot so that you know that you're not pulling one or other of the fabrics. But that's only going to happen if you start yanking, trying to make one meet on the other. I'm not yanking, I'm just placing. Okay, at no point am I yanking these fabrics. Cannot stress this enough. And we'll have to do this a few times, okay? So there we go, my seams are meeting, so I know I haven't pulled anything unduly anywhere. But take your time, there's no rush on this. This is what gives you that really unusual curve that echoes that beautiful vase. And as you get used to it, just making sure that you're always placing it. Cannot stress that enough. Place it, don't yank it. But if you do end up with a little bit left over at the end, don't panic, it's not the end of the world, just trim it off. So you basically create it so that you're always sewing in a straight line, and yet when you're done, you kind of haven't. Okay, let's see where we're at. I place it down onto the dark side. Oh, hello, come on, switch. I place it down onto the dark side because whatever side you place it onto, of course, that is the side that your seam will flip onto. So I want this to be, let's just set that seam, and I want this to flip to the dark side, which is a little bit awkward, but I don't really. Now you might want to see the echo of that underneath on your seam allowance. I didn't. I wanted a nice crisp. It would be another look, like it would give almost a sort of a 5 o'clock shadow to this, but you can see how beautifully that's just pressing away, giving us that lovely, lovely curve. And it's weird because as much as those seams meet, I've got a little bit left over there. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to chop it off. It's fine. And if you do ever need to do anything like that, just make, align your long ruler. Get your long ruler involved. Align your long ruler. And you might find there's a bit of a bow somewhere else. Just tidy it up. There's nothing wrong in a quick tidy up, as long as you're not taking your seam allowance off or anything like that. This is fabric. It moves, does what it's meant to do. So that, that's that side already done. Okay. So we would just repeat that on the other side. Now what I really want to show you is actually how we come to do the borders on the other. It's going to be a really, really, really long demo if I do everything to both sides. So all of this is in the instructions. What I will show you is you're going to take a 2.5 inch strip. Let's just get rid. There are just little key points, and then we can get on to the fun bit, just in making this border using these rulers, that I just want to talk you through. But we don't need to do it both sides. I think actually this ends up being 22, so I will finish it later. Or I'll give it to Gemma to finish because she's like, I love it so much. Possibly in that voice. It wasn't. She'll be like, I don't talk like that. So find your centre point. We cut these slightly longer because what we are going to do is, there's my centre point there, look. Can you see it's just a little bit longer there? Because we're going to continue this round. So because this is a wave, it comes... It's going to come down this way. So the ruler's placed that way. And then the ruler goes the other way. So when we've put this in, we are then going to trim it to that way, to the other way. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Let me just I'll sew this half on for you. And we'll get half of it done. And then I can finish it off another time. But honestly, otherwise we will be here. This took me all weekend to do. But if you can just get these few little points in your head, you'll be okay. And again, I will press this to the other side, to the dark side. Part of me is still giggling about that with Sarah Payne the other day. Wasn't she fab? And I have to say, work like this with the House of Alistair pressing mat just makes life joyful, because everything just presses so much crisper. I'm going to spin it around and do it this way, just so that you can see. For this project, I have to say my those scissors came in handy. Right, so as you can see, the ruler went that way, then it went that way, and if we want to keep this flow going, it's then going to go off that way. So I'm going to turn it this way. Now, because this is a Creative Grids ruler, they've got lots of fabulous marks on there. There's my seam line. Now we've already sewn the seam, so I'm going to line that seam line up on my seam. And again, I've sewn that in, so that seam is in. So, and you've got photos of this in your instructions, so don't worry. And then we're just going to trim that so we get the follow on of that curve. All right. So instead of it just stopping straight, which might have looked a bit weird, given that you've got this lovely flow, we've got it so that now the base of the vase just flares ever so slightly. It's just a really small thing, and if it blows your mind, don't worry about it, just do it straight. But for me, I wanted this to just keep this flow and to go out like a vase does. So that was why I did that, and we will do the same with the top one as well. Okay. So finding your centre again, popping it over your centre there. I'll just stitch it halfway. Again, pressing from the dark side. Just like this is just my preference. I didn't want all of those seams to show through on the white, so that's why I'm always pressing away. Okay, so let's have a look at it this time. So basically, whatever direction your ruler was last in, you just want to turn it so that you're then cutting in the opposite direction, just to keep that flow. And again, lining up, that's where my seam is, so I'm going to line up that, and I can see that's where my seam, so I'm using these lines, seam lines on the ruler. Oh no, I haven't done it enough. So I would unpick this and shift this over. I've just shifted it slightly. That might, but yeah. So that would keep that flow. We might get away with it because it's just an 1/8 out there, but that's what you want to do. You'll be doing it all in one thing, so you won't have, and you'll also be following the instructions carefully. So then you want to add your blue border onto there. And so let's put that to one side. And you want to get your blue strips. Now this will then form the straight, and I didn't really fancy doing wavy borders everywhere. I was like, oh, I think that might be a little bit beyond me. So again, we need to see what we are doing, and I really need to think about how I did this. So that will give us the fat bit, and then we will, spin that. I've got to remember how I did this yesterday. I already did it yesterday. Haha, yes, that's it. Because what am I doing? Because this is a slightly different one. So with the white one, we just put it in the middle and just cut, and that was all good. But with this one, what I want you to do is pop your edges on like this. But we're leaving this bit in, okay? So that is actually at the top. But then this is going to have to fix. And if you have to do this with your ruler to make this make sense for you, then do. So we want this to then follow round. So you're going to place this corner here, right up on that edge, and that corner there, right up on that edge, so that everything lines up. So you can check. This is going to come down and then it's going to sweep out like that. Okay. And as I'm cutting these, I'm cutting two, but I'm cutting one way and one the other. Okay, there's a simple, easy way to check. So yes, that is going to give me my border. And then what I'm going to need to do is add a little bit on to each of the bottoms like we did up there. And that's absolutely fine. I will show you how in a minute. But what you will just need is, this is my 3.5 inch strips. These are the spare bits. And I'm going to cut. The border is 2.5 inches. So all I'm going to do is cut a 2.5 inch strip. So that we will sew that onto there. Then we've got enough to cut it, and that onto that end up there again, and we'll follow that through, and that'll work! Hooray! So, honest, I promise. What's she doing? What's she doing? Don't forget to take your other piece off, by the way, which should go in the opposite direction because you had them wrong sides together when you cut. Nearly did it again. That would not have been the best plan ever, would it? Oh my goodness. And each time I'm just lining up on that straight edge. What is this? Chain piecing, chain piecing. That's all that is. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie. So, I've got a thread caught. There we are. Right, pressing, pressing, pressing. And yeah, it's going to look odd because you get the flappy bits there, and that's all fine. Curved piecing. Whoever thought I would be brave enough to do curved piecing? Ah, look what you've done to me. Okay, so again, let's be logical. We know that we used our ruler like that to create that curve. We know we now need to flip the ruler so it goes in the opposite direction. Again, we're going to line up our seams. So keeping that edge right on the edge there, lining up that seam line. Okay. So that when we cut, what you're getting is just, you see, just that continuous flow. Same here. We know that we had the ruler like that, so we want to use it the other way. Line up those edges. Now, line up the seam allowance. And you can see that edge there just sits really nicely onto that. All of these are in photos in your pattern, so do not panic if you can't see it quite clearly. And then, haha, here it is, the half-made thing. And so that fits on to there. We've missed just that little corner there we go. And onto there like that. All your seams meet, all your seams match. And then with the base piece of sashing, you just put a 2.5 inch strip across the bottom and the top. So that bit is super simple. So that's just a plain piece, 2.5 inch strip across there. I was going to say, shall I stitch this on? But I need to undo that and move that across a bit. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go, and then at least it's on. So again, flipping it over, and we're going. Is everybody all right? By the way, let me just have a quick check, see if everyone's all right. Yeah, it is the Bargello, big wow, isn't it? She is indeed fabulous. So yeah, that's this week. I mean, this week is just Cave-tastic. Hi April, no problem. Don't worry about being late. We're all going on. Don't you worry. Geraldine fell back to sleep. Did I hear the magic word creative grids? Yes, so you might already have that. Susie says, it looks like you found the only ruler I haven't got. Well, luckily, we have some. So you're all right. Ooh, oh, get well. Lemon and honey cake tomorrow. Oh, nice. Amy says, did you move rooms? I'm sure you used to have cupboards behind us. We did months ago, and then we needed some more space in the warehouse, so I ripped them out and put them in the warehouse. And also because they were really cheap from IKEA when I first started up, and the doors were falling off. So I did one show and I was like, is that door at a really strange angle? So they went. Yeah, but that was months ago, Amy. And since then we've had our beautiful dresser, and we like to play. Well, the other day Gemma hit a wombat on it. I mean, it's all going on. Again, that is another long story. That's another long story. Who doesn't like a good game of Find the Wombat, right? Who doesn't? Now on these, you just need to mark 1/4 of an inch in, okay? Because obviously you are mid. From where you've cut it, you're not right at the end. So all you're going to want to do is get yourself a ruler that shows you 1/4 of an inch. Here we go. So I've got 1/4 of an inch going across. Oh no, 1/4 of an inch going down. And pop yourself a little mark there. You're going to do exactly the same on this as well. 1/4 of an inch across on both sides. Again, all of these will be in your instructions. Pin in, the good old pin trick. We do love the pin trick. So pop your pin through both. Give it a little wiggle, and then just means, oh, you can probably see it better here. It just means that you can just get yourself aligned and sorted. And what I tend to do is keep that pin in there, and then a little further down, pin, so that I know that I can take that out and not sew over it. But I know that I've got enough leeway to get me going on the machine. Let's see, shall we? And it does feel weird because look at the angle that you start your border off at. I mean, that's weird, right? But it will all, if I've done it right, you know, let's not get too crazy. It will all turn out beautifully. So you see, by the time that I reach my pin, I'm all good to go. That's my seams aligning. Nice. But again, we're at that situation where it's don't force it. I did not actually, I've just realised I've run out of Best Press and Starch Savvy all in one go, and my flatter as well. All three that I love have all run out all in one go, so I need to get some more. So I didn't actually press these, but that would make a difference. That would really help you not pull things out of place. But can you see, I'm just doing a few stitches. If you are worried that you are someone that might be tugging this out of place, get your stiletto, whatever it's called, and just hold it with that and allow it to feed. If you're worried about getting your fingers too close, that's why I love these, because they're metal. And it doesn't matter if you sew over the, well, I mean, obviously you don't sew over them if you can manage not to, but you know what I mean. Do. But it's up to you. I know that I'm not pulling it, so I will just keep placing and placing. What also helps me is to use a 1/4 of an inch foot with a guide, so that I know that I can line them both up against that guide. Oh, now this is going to be the tricky bit, isn't it? How much of that seam can I get away with? We'll see. So again, with here, press your dark side. Do you know what? Keep pulling that base off with it. I'm just going to leave it on the base. There we go, so you now have a nice crisp white border. And then you'll just add a straight 2.5 inch strip along the bottom there. Hooray, hooray, hooray. So then we get on to the fun bit. Yes, we do. So if you've gone for the kit, in your kit you have got 4 fat quarters of the fabrics that I use. Now you might be making this up yourself, go for it. And you might have flowers in your own stash that you love, go for it. I just love these particular colours, they're my colours, I love them. So I went for those. Now, you can use whatever you like. If you want to use Mist Diffuse or Bond and Repair, then have a look at the show I did the other week where I did the stripe quilt with the flowers on. Have a look at that, because that shows you how to use Mist Diffuse, and we used that with a sugar mat, and we put the Mist Diffuse on the back of the fabric first, fused that in place, then cut out the flowers after that, and that worked an absolute treat. But for this, I wanted to be able to play a lot with my flower placement. So what I've used for this is a product I'd never used before, and I'd heard about it and gone, that's the one I want, which is just over there. It's called Light Steam. Oh, you can't see it because the machine's in the way. It is this stuff. So this is Steamer Seam 2. It's the light version. So it's not as heavy. Still does a great job, but it's just not as heavy, so that if you're doing layered applique, it's not going to get really hard. There's still some movement to the fabric. The beautiful thing about this, which you can't do with any of the other ones that I've discovered, is that you can actually print onto this, and it's also got a grid on the back of it so that you can lay things out. It's really good stuff, actually. I'm very impressed with it. So you can trace, you can do, otherwise you use it as you would Bondaweb. So if you want to use Bondaweb, use Bondaweb. Just know that if I were using Bondaweb or Mist Diffuse, I would assemble all of this on my ironing board or on my pressing mat, so that I didn't have that thing of, I've got it exactly how I want it. Now, how do I shift it to my ironing board? Whereas with this, you end up with a tack I'll show you, but you end up with a tackiness, which means that you can place everything where you want it, peel it off, reseal it, put it exactly where you want, keep peeling, and it only forms that permanent bond when you steam it in position. Okay, and that's why I went with this. Now I did get a little bit overexcited because I do quite a lot of applique, so I did just put this across the back of my fat quarters. So I did use, yeah, I did use a bit. I can't lie, I used quite a bit. But now I've got all of these that I can use. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting out a little bit, seaming it on, cutting. I didn't have time for all of that, and I know that I will use these later. And it just meant that at any point, this is the beautiful rose and hydrangea, I could cut out various bits, and I knew that I already had stuff fused on. So we'll talk about all of that in a minute. So you'll get your vase template in with your instructions. It is on a fold. So let's get myself some, just help myself to stock. Don't mind me, nothing to see here. How much do I need? Jem, you might have to take a little bit more of stock. I forgot I've got this to do. Oops. This is very handy though. Paper, scissors. And then she'll have her head in her hands going, what on earth? And the other thing I like with it is it comes with instructions. So you'll get a sheet of instructions with it, which is very handy if it's the first time that you have ever used it. There we go. Let's pop that back over there. First time I've seen it actually. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, you can draw onto here. You can do that if you want. Having a pen helps. Oh, it's so quiet as she concentrates. And I've done that on, you see there's a dotted line there. So peel back that top bit. This bit doesn't have the sticky on. Come on, come, come. There we go. Oh no, that bit does have, that bit that does have the sticky on. There we go. So if that's got the sticky on, that's got to go on that away there, like so. Now, you see, I can just fold that in half. Oh, there's always that big debate, isn't there, as to which scissors you should use once there's a paper backing in. It's really annoying. Let me just keep that folded there. I'm going in with my super sharps. I can always sharpen them again. there's your vase. Give it a press. And then let it cool before you peel that backing off. And then what that will give you is a tackiness on the back. So I haven't used any steam this time. I use steam when it's properly fixed on. Okay, so we'll just wait for that, and in the meantime let's just have a little look at fussy cutting the flowers. So you see I've had a good old chop into this, and it might be actually these bits here are quite nice, these little ones here. So all I would do is kind of make a little curve there and through there, and just making sure that what I do, because I'm going to use, actually that rose is rather gorgeous as well, isn't it, is leave that intact so that I can come back and take that out for another applique. Now I might just want to have these bits, and as I've said on a lot of occasions, I'm right-handed, so obviously my scissors are in my right hand. Use a big pair, don't use a little pair. Everybody thinks that a small pair when you're doing delicate applique work is the way. No, 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 no. I used to work with paper crafters, and they are very much of the opinion that you turn the paper, or in this case the fabric, and not the scissors. So you just, it's not choppy then. You move that all around there so that you can get all that detail. Now you can see as I cut, that's getting all of that detail out. So move the, you see I'm moving the fabric with my left hand so that as I close with my right, we're getting everything in that we need. I have to say, I do find this quite relaxing. And you can decide if you want to go up and get all of that, or if you want to leave that for later, come back to that, then it's entirely up to you. The other thing is that no one's going to look closely if you go over a mark or don't quite make the mark. Like, who's going to look? You're giving an overall impression and effect. Okay, it's like my, you see, look, if you try and just snip in there, yeah, you might do it, but you might overshoot it as well. So it is better to just go in and move your scissors around. You just get a better flow. And if, you know, like if you feel like there's a little bit too much getting in the way, then by all means get rid of this bit and then just concentrate on that tiny little bit. And if you need to go in any more once everything else is out of the way, then you can. I don't mind having a little bit of a dark outline. But take your time. I mean, I'm just doing this quickly. And there you go. You've got yourself a little floral. And repeat quite a lot. Now, I do the old pin trick. You're meant to be able to just curl this fabric, the paper over at the edge. But I'm going to be honest, it started to fray when I did that. Now you can see that this has got a tack, and I haven't actually adhered that enough, but I think we might get away with it. So you're going to have to hold your iron on that a little bit longer than I did. But in this case, it's okay because I know that I just want that placed centrally there. And this is what I mean, it's got a tack. So if I then decide that actually that's not where I want it to be, or I want to move it a little bit, just peel it off. But when I want to lift it and take it to the iron, it's on there enough. There we go. Okay, so then it's the fun bit. It's the fun bit. So have a little play. I mean, look, that was the end of my I waste nothing, which for me, and also, you know, it might be that I want to have that. I can really start to layer. I'll take these backings off in a minute, but just get a little bit of an idea where you think, I did this, then took a photo, then peeled the backs off. But each one is going to be beautifully different. If you wanted to, oh, look at that. And make sure that some of these go over the white border. But you see, you can start to get a little bit of depth. You can layer them. You can pop bits behind, in front, whatever you want. Maybe you want to have that one poking up out the vase there, or coming through between those, or however you want to do it. But I would have some coming in at odd angles. Again, going over that border. You know, I added a butterfly last time. I was like, I think that one might be a bit of overkill. But just have fun with it. So I've got some beautiful leaves and stuff that I can add in. Ooh, I could add that in. Maybe I want that spilling out over the front today. And actually I'll chop that stick off and use it somewhere else. Aren't these just beautiful? Maybe you're going to have some of that in there. Maybe I want to have this little chap in there. And then that there. And then that there. All of it is entirely your own personal preference. Maybe I want to then have a little thing coming out there. But this is it. And as you remove the backing and you start to place all of these down, then you can position. You can start to position things forward and back. That's the beauty of this stuff. I decided I didn't want that, didn't I? Yet. So just snip that. Put that there. I'll come back to that later. But this is the fun bit. And you get to choose. So I'm going to have that spilling over the front of my vase there. There we are. And then, should we have these two? Yeah. Ah, now this was one. I forgot to actually adhere that one. because it was the first time I'd used it. Obviously I didn't actually bother to read the instructions properly. I didn't realise that you actually had to. I thought, oh, is it not? Is it just going to? I'll let that just chill out there for a minute. Let's get this one up, shall we? Do let it cool before you try and get the backs off, else it'll just pull everything with it as well. So I'm going for height. I want things of interest to break up the border. Oh, now, would that be quite interesting, flowing over there like that? I don't know, let's give it a go, shall we? But I do want to see the edge of my vase. So let's have the edge of the vase just tipping through there. I can have those then cascading out if I want it that way. You know, I might not. Oh, this is quite an interesting one to stick in somewhere as well. I might use it. You said I'd probably use that over there somewhere or up here. Oh, actually, that's quite interesting. I'm going to have a big bit of colour. So I tend to put my big pieces down first. And the beauty is because I've got all of the other fabrics already aligned and good to go. So I could have that. We're going to have, because this is, I'm not too worried about this one because it's sort of a bit meh. I've lost my pin. Honestly, I went through so many pins the other day. And just throw everything on the floor. That's easier. That'll do it. Or the other thing that I did was take a photo, go away. Now, you see, when I was interviewing Keith the other day, he's like, leave it up on your board. And they always leave stuff up on their board. And then go away and come back and have a look at it. Now you see I might want just to have this little chap come through, in which case and so you see you can start to layer things one behind the other and see if you like it, see if that's going to work for you. We want these guys up here. One there, one there. There. Gosh, it's so hard to know, isn't it? As to what you want to do. Maybe that's a little bit too much there. So maybe I want to bring this guy down here instead, but just play. And that's the beautiful thing about this, is that you really do get the chance. Oh, well, that's a bit beautiful. So what happens if I bring that down there as a base? This is the bit that I really love. So I spend hours and hours and hours just changing stuff up, have a look, take a photo, see what it looks like in the photo. You see, so what I've used there is that funny bit there as almost a base. Maybe I want to have that come up out there as well. Play with it. Maybe you do want to have this come to the fore, in which case let's bring that back out as far back on itself. But the beauty of this is that each one is going to be so totally unique. And that's what I absolutely love about it. Do I want that one in there? Oh, that could be an interesting play. To have some of that spilling over there. And maybe that there, that there, that there. And then some of those through there, and that there, and that little one poking out there. It's entirely up to you, and each one will be gloriously different, but please just make sure that you overflow these white borders so that it just breaks it up, and build it up as high as you want. Pop in a butterfly or not, it's entirely up to you, but just play, and then you know you've got it tacked down and you'll be good to go. And if you need to go in and cut some more, you know what, go in and cut some more. And then when you take it, I free motion embroider, right? Okay, so this is the thing. That is my first full project that I have free motion embroidered, and I was terrified. So I went in with a variegated thread. So this is the one that I used here with a variegated thread so that it just broke up the line. I did, to also help break up this white border, I did a line in my variegated thread either side, just echo stitching around there. I went with my quilting, I went all around the outside and then went out in and picked out bits of detail. And I was slow and I was rubbish, and by the end I was a lot quicker and a lot more accurate with it. And you know what? No one's going to know. No one's going to know. But my top tip for you, I used my little darning foot, and because it's circular and you're 1/4 of an inch, because your needle's right in the middle, I'd got into a bad habit of focusing on the needle. Whereas actually, if I wanted to be evenly from the edge, I needed to focus on where my foot was. So as soon as I shifted, and this just worked for me, like it might not be what will work for other people, but this worked for me. As soon as I shifted my gaze from, rather than staring at the needle and what that was doing, to where the edge of that foot was and how far that was from the edge of my flower, it all flowed so much better, and I was able to outline stuff and emphasize stuff, and that worked for me. The binding, oh, I was in two minds about it, and the K Facet Collective page was brilliant, and over 700 of them commented, and I was really tempted to do a flange border and pick out some of those colours, but actually I tried it. I sort of auditioned it down the side, and my eye didn't know where to look. There was just like, all of a sudden there was just too much colour. So I played it safe. I went with a navy. That is in your kit. So you get the binding, you get all the sash, you get everything for the front, and the binding is what you get in your kit. Then and then then it's just wadded, and up it is. There we go. So that's the very basics of it, really. But what I wanted to show you were those curves to get that border, because that's the unusual bit on this, and that steamer seam is great. Really impressed with that. We've got that on the website. We've got these as kits. We've only got a limited number of kits, like I say, and a limited number of rulers. We can get more rulers for sure. But yeah, and also we've got what we've got of the K Facet Mystery Fat Quarter. So why not boost your stash? Have a good look at that. Tomorrow we have got for you a beautiful, beautiful chatelaine. What have I got? The packet here. Yes. So this is the pattern that we're working with tomorrow. So a complete change of pace. It is very beautiful. You've got glasses case, notebook cover, scissor keep, pin holder, tape measure, all sorts of goodies in there for you tomorrow. So that's what we've got coming up on the show tomorrow. Again, 10 o'clock here at Natasha Makes. That's where we'll be. Thank you so much for watching. Let's just check that everybody is okay. Oh, Susan has an eye like mine. Yes. And, oh, Susan, thank you. I love your show. Yeah, remember to like and share the video to be in with a chance to win that creative grid. We're all good. We're all good. Hello, Team Makes and everyone. So good to be back with you, if only for a short time. Loving this demo, says Fiona. Oh, thank you. Elizabeth, don't let your lemsip go whammy. That's my grandmother's word, whammy, and I love that you use it. Morning, gorgeous, says Christine. Been busy making my 0 point soup and just noticed the time. Ah, 0 point soup. That does not sound... What is that? What is that? What's a 0 point soup? Okay, good. Are we all good then? There's no burning questions there. Low. I bet Karen will have already made 12 of these before the live feed ends. Bionic sewer. She is. I've never known anyone sew at the speed of Karen. She's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. Well, look, guys, thank you. Told me a curve, nothing but a series of small stripes. Yeah, Claire says, my dad, who studied architecture at uni, told me that a curve is nothing but a series of short straight lines. He is so right, so right. And that's how we sew them. Dressmakers, yes, Margaret, used to sewing curves. For those that aren't, take a gulp and big girl pants on and off you go. I think when I made this applique, maybe used for the white frame. Ah, okay. Good. And anybody else? Morning, Patricia. Lovely to have your company. And gosh, lots of comments. So I've been working away. There we go. Geraldine says that the curves remind me of my figure at the moment. Well, maybe this is my nod to the lockdown lard. And long may our curves continue. My order is in for the lot. Fabric, pattern, creative grid. I wasn't going to make any more projects, but I just love it. And now looking for the perfect wall in my cottage. This is going on my wall. Honestly, it's going on my wall. I decided to healthy eat from today. Now all I want is a brownie. No, that happens. That happens. Don't worry about that. It's normal. Balanced diet, right? Cake in each hand. That's it. I think that's everything. Oh, Elizabeth says it's amazing what you've achieved with your sewing and your business. Do you know what? The beauty of having these shows every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday is that I've had to try new things. And I'm so thrilled because I get to make stuff like that and it's my job. I mean, I'm the luckiest girl alive. So I will see you here tomorrow where we're going to make more gorgeousness right here. Take care, stay sewing, stay safe. And if it's raining, stay in. Take care. Bye-bye.